You've probably seen these trains everywhere by now. Sleek noise, silver body, quiet acceleration. These go by many names, from the Intercity Express trains, or IETs, that operate on GWR, to the Azumas on LNER, and from the Paragons on Hull trains, to the Averos on the Avanti West Coast. Honourable mentions include the Auroras on the EMR, as well as the IEP, or Intercity Express programme, a name given to GWR and LNER's Class 800 and 802s. And lastly, the Hitachi AT300s, the name of the Javelins Class 395s. The name 80Xs has become an official term used by National Rail to describe the trains we are discussing in today's video. However, an issue arises from the Class 810s, which are being spoken about, but very obviously don't fit the 80X name well. For all intents and purposes, we'll be using the term IET to describe the Class 800 through to the 810, inclusive in today's video. Enough about names though. These trains have completely changed long-distance rail travel in the UK. But what actually are they? Why did the UK choose them? And are they really better than the trains being replaced? Today we're taking a relaxed but detailed look at the Hitachi IET, how they work, where you'll find them, and why they matter. The IETs are built by Hitachi Rail, a Japanese company best known for the high-speed trains like the Shinkansen. Hitachi also manufactured these trains for the UK. In the UK, these trains were introduced as part of the Intercity Express programme, often shortened to IEP. The goal was to replace the classic HSTs and Intercity 225s from the 1970s and 1980s respectively, with something faster, more efficient and more reliable for the modern railway. One of the most interesting things about IETs is that many of them are bi-mode. That means they could run on electric power where overhead wires exist, and switch to diesel power on routes that aren't electrified. Instead of one big engine, IETs use several smaller diesel engines mounted underneath the train, usually one per carriage. This spreads power more evenly, improves acceleration, and allows the train to keep moving if one engine is shut down. On fully electrified routes, operators use electric-only versions, which are quieter, lighter, and even more efficient. You'll mainly see Hitachi IETs on major long-distance routes across the UK. Great Western Railway uses them on services between London Paddington, Bristol, Cardiff, Oxford, Gloucester, Cheltenham, Worcester, Hereford, and the South West to Penzance. LNER runs them up the East Coast Main Line, connecting London King's Cross with Leeds, York, Newcastle and Edinburgh, Perth, Aberdeen and Inverness, as well as a few daily trains that link Leeds to other smaller cities, those in the far northeast. Operators like Hull Trains, Lumo, Transpennine Express, Avanti West Coast and EMR also use similar Hitachi-built trains, so if you've taken a long-distance train recently, there's a good chance you've already travelled on one. Just remember to take care when travelling with Lumo. Suitcases may go flying. Step inside and the focus is clearly on the modern intercity comfort. Most IETs offer plug sockets at every seat, free Wi-Fi, digital seat reservation screens and improved accessibility. Compared to the older diesel trains, acceleration is smoother, braking is more controlled, and the interior is generally quieter, especially when running in electric mode. Oh, and we can't forget about these seats. Yeah, these seats are rock solid. Let's give you an impression of how this sounds when you hit them. Although Hitachi is a Japanese company, most UK IETs are built right here in Britain. They are assembled at Hitachi's factory in Newton Aycliffe, County Durham. This factory brought large-scale train manufacturing back to the UK and created thousands of skilled jobs. So these trains aren't just about transport, they're also part of a wider industrial and economic shift. So are Hitachi IETs perfect? Well, not exactly. On the positive side, they offer faster acceleration, low emissions, flexible operation across electrified and non-electrified routes, and modern onboard systems. They have also been praised for the extremely ample variety and quantity of places to store luggage, ranging from greatly improved size of overhead luggage racks to plenty of space to store even middle range bags below seats, as well as the huge luggage stacks in each carriage, where apart from Lumo, there exists to be anywhere between 2 stacks per carriage all the way up to 4 on some 9-car LNER IETs. On the downside, some passengers find the ride less smooth on certain tracks. Diesel mode can be noisy, and the seat comfort, well, remains controversial. Additionally, the poor build quality of the earlier class 800s, 801s and 802 unit means that they suffer from really bad violent side-to-side shaking, known as hunting oscillation, especially when travelling at higher speeds. Not least to mention the increased noise and the vibrations from the motors and engines in the carriages that contain such equipment, something which older locomotive hauled trains didn't have. Bicycle storage is also disappointing, with the small spaces and requirement to store vertically, meaning that anything beyond a typical bike cannot be sorted compared to the older HSTs and Intercity 225. Not least to mention such spaces end up being used for extra luggage storage despite not officially being permitted. And finally, they have been criticised for their very harsh, cold and bright lighting in comparison with the older stock. Overall, the earlier IETs set to prove a very mixed bag, especially with Great Western Railway. Questions are posed that if they are worse than their predecessors. However, the trains are improving, with each batch proving to be notably better, including better than predecessors and potentially amongst the best in the UK. Lumo's 803s and EMR's 810s being loved by plenty. Yeah, Hitachi's IETs represent a transition period in UK rail, with the very last of the HSTs vanishing very quickly. These IETs bridge the gap between old diesel era and a future that's increasingly electric. As more routes become electrified, these trains are already prepared to take advantage of it. They may not be the most exciting trains ever built, but they are some of the most important. And next time one pulls into the platform very quietly, you'll know exactly what's powering it. Thank you very much for watching this video. We do thank you for taking the time to do so. If you want to support the channel, then please help us by liking and subscribing. Thanks for watching again, and we'll see you in the next video. Take care, and we'll see you soon. Goodbye.